And we are live, and it worked this time. Had a little bit of technical difficulties there. It didn't. I don't know what was going on. But how we doing, man? I'm excited. We got a pretty solid Apex card this weekend for Apex standards, I should say. For Apex standards, got to make that clear. For Apex standards, so I'm excited. I think Jared Cannonier versus Caio Borralho, that's an interesting matchup. I like whenever we get these guys that are kind of bursting onto the scene. They seem like there's somebody that is going to be a problem inside the division. Middleweight's heating up overall, so I'm excited. I'm very excited for the middleweight clash this weekend. So we'll see. It's 5 rounds. We haven't seen Caio go 5 rounds really yet. So what's up, Craze? Had some technical difficulties, man. Was having some issues. It was like weird on my end, so I just ended it and then tried it again. So that sucked because I had a bunch of people like the stream and then that weren't here yet. So hopefully we can get those likes back. Not bad, man. Not bad. How about you? Not bad. I wanted to try doing this. I think I tried this like a week or 2 ago, doing a morning live, because I know we got people on. I was looking at my analytics, and we kind of got people all over the place. So I kind of just want to make sure I'm able to go live and talk to some other people. You're doing some laundry right now, yeah. I usually save that for the weekend. That's usually like Sundays or something. That's usually like the day where do that kind of stuff. But what's up, Rocco? How you doing, man? But yeah, like I said, I'm excited, man, for the card this weekend, for the Apex card. I shouldn't say I'm excited, but I'm like looking forward to the main event. There's some fights on there I'm looking forward to. I think it's actually pretty good overall. There's some decent matchups there. We have Michael Morales stepping back in there against Neil Magny, the prospect crusher, Neil Magny. So it'll be interesting. I'm curious to see kind of what happens there and how things play out. So, the main event, big test for Caio, because like I was saying before, he's a good fighter, but he gets a little wild in there, gets a little reckless. And I'm like, how's that going to play out against a veteran like Jared Cannonier? And it's 5 rounds, and Jared does well in these 5-round fights. So it'll be interesting to see. But we'll see. I like it. I like it so far. I like what, because again, the Apex cards have been bad, right? For the most part, a lot of them they have some fights that agree or that end up delivering a little bit. But for the most part, they're kind of, you know what I mean? They're kind of meh. But, you think the speed difference might be a huge factor? Yeah, that's what I'm kind of thinking, man. I agree with you there. What's up, Chad? Jared looked higher, really tired in his interview. He doesn't look like looking the best of places. His age is starting to show. Yeah, could be, man. Could be. I mean, what is he, 40, 41 now? So he's getting up there. What's up, Tehran? How you doing, man? I appreciate it. Yeah, I'm taking a little break in the day. So I plan my days out, man. I'm trying to leave some availability, whether it's in the afternoon or in the morning. I can't go as live like every day or almost every day like I kind of was before, but so trying to, focus on getting some content out there, but leaving some time for some lives here and there, fitting them in where I can. Because I know we got people that like to tune in later in the day, and then we got people that are like to tune in the morning. So you don't get off till 5. Yeah, damn, dude. Yeah, during when I was working like a corporate job, I used to like play podcasts and listen to stuff in the background the whole time, most of the time at least. You love watching the tier list or top 10 type videos. I should make more. That's in the plans, man. That's in the plans. I'm working on a fun video right now. The intro has been taking me a little longer because I've been trying to be really creative with it. So that's taken me some time, but I'll have a fun video coming out soon. What's up, Oscar? You think the UFC made this matchup with the sole purpose of retiring Jared? Yeah, I kind of feel the same way. Look, eventually, guys, look, it's a business at the end of the day. And what does Jared bring to the table at this point? He doesn't really bring anything. He's a guy that they can call upon to headline a fight night, and that's basically kind of where the ceiling is now. So he got his title shot. So unfortunately, I think that we've seen the ceiling for Jared, and they know that. They know that. You mean Borralho? He's a good fighter, man. And the guys out of that fighting nerds camp, man, they're crazy. They're good. They have a lot of skill. Jared had nothing for Imavov after round one, apart from holding him against the fence. He's too old at this point. Yeah, I think once you get to a certain point, age starts to show a little bit. I think he's just too slow. I just think the speed is going to be the difference. And it's just like, that's what we talk about a lot, when it comes to fights. Speed is just a difference maker, man. It's just a difference maker. If Cannonier had a better chin, he would be DDP's nightmare matchup, a competent boxer with crazy power. That's a good point. That's a good point. Jared's 40. Yeah. Cannonier's been out for a while and he took heavy damage from Imavov. Yeah, Imavov is fast. He's quick. I think Nasruddin is starting to kind of get that shine. He's a speedy guy on the feet. He has some pretty good grappling. And I think his next matchup's really going to kind of show a lot. A guy like Brendan Allen, who's putting together a win streak, who seems like, his submission threat is a little bit of a problem in the division. If Imavov can go out there and like starch him or pick him apart and beat him, it's going to be a statement victory for him. Prime Cannonier could probably beat DDP. I don't know if he would beat him. It'd be a good fight, though. Either way, it'd be a good fight. What's up, Cayman? What's up, Toad, by the way? You need to match his physical attributes for one, because I think he just being technical and skillful ain't enough. He's too durable, strong pay. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, if you come in there and you try to just kind of pick at DDP, his strength and just brute force just overwhelms you. The Imavov thing was a bit early, but he was going to win the match anyway. Yeah, it was an early stoppage, but he was on his way to victory for sure. Yeah, I see what you guys are saying. I see what you're saying about the Jared matchup. That's not a bad take. You know what I mean? Because Jared's physically strong, but again, Robert Whittaker picked apart Jared Cannonier, and you saw what DDP did to Jared. You know what I mean? So I know styles make fights, but I know you said this, but I'm telling you, if you watch Jared's interview, he looked depressed or sad and tired. Something is up with him. I haven't watched any of his media day yet. I'll have to check it out. Kaio versus Pfeiffer. We'll eventually maybe see that at some point. They're trying to build everybody up together right now. They're trying not to sacrifice any of the guys on the rise. They want to build everybody up, and they don't want those guys to fight each other this soon. They're doing what they're doing at middleweight. They're trying to get everybody to the top of the division, and then they'll play mix and match once they get to that point. They don't want to have anyone devalue anybody yet. Maybe a younger Yoel Romero versus DDP. Yeah, I think a young Romero would be probably a good matchup. That he could give him some problems because of the physicality side. It's all about styles, man. Styles make fights for sure. But DDP is just that the tools that he provides. He seems like he has a specific area that he outmatches each fighter at. You know what I mean? Like with Whittaker, it was the power. With and slash grappling kind of, and then with Izzy, it was the grappling. You know what I mean? And then the power, right? It's like that's just kind of been DDP's mantra thus far. Jared's job at this point is just to bring guys the UFC likes into the top 5. Yeah, he's kind of like a gatekeeper a little bit at this point. Yeah. Who's more durable? Prime Yoel, probably. Prime Yoel. Maybe. I don't know. That's a good question, actually. Yeah, this could be Jared's last fight. Who knows? You know what I mean? He's up there. Could be his last one. You're right. You're right. Yeah, the stoppage not going as long, maybe that does play in well for Cannonier, not for not allowing that fight to continue because I don't think that he was going to turn the tides. Yeah, Jared is always in a pretty entertaining fight. That's a good take. He would lose one-on-one matches in wrestling, kickboxing, boxing, but he has that one thing against everyone. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's got that one area. He's better than each. He's better in a certain area than everybody that he goes in there against. And the way he mixes everything together is a problem. What's up, Milk? Piper is a hard matchup for DDP. One punch KO power and his no scrub on the ground. I've been saying this. Yeah, Piper's a tough matchup for everybody. He needed that. I don't want to say he needed that loss to Hermanson, but I think that you're going to see the best Joe Pyfer moving forward. You saw against Marc-Andre Barrios. Like, you're going to see a dialed-in Pyfer moving forward. I mean, I don't know. What's up, Woods? I don't know if I don't know, man. I like Robert Whittaker, but he's that blitz and the way that he fights is just, I don't know if you can beat DDP that way. If Rob wasn't chinny, he would be champ, but it is what it is. Well, I mean, he used to be champ, so he was a champ at one point. Still funny, DDP called Schaub a never was. Yeah, Brendan Schaub, man, he's like so negative. Brendan Schaub, he is always like negative. Did you guys see where he was like so negative about Mike Tyson and talking shit to Tyson during the Super Bowl thing where they were doing a show? Like, Hermanson humbled Pyfer, and that's what's going to help him improve. 100%. 100%. If that was a 3-round fight, he would have won. That's what kind of surprised me was that the UFC threw him into a 5-round main event like that. What's up, Kolstrom? Robert versus Imavov. Who would I pick? I think Imavov would be a problem because of his speed. And he's long and rangy, and those guys have given Rob problems. You always felt bad for Schaub ever since Joe roasted him, but he's a snake. Yeah, he comes across snakish for sure. Yeah, I like Izzy, man, but the bias towards Izzy and Volk when they're fighting is crazy. If you listen back to the commentary, they're just so biased, man. So biased. The most biased commentary, some of the most biased commentary I've ever heard was before Izzy fought DDP. I watched that Jan Blachowicz Izzy fight back. The bias in that fight was unbelievable. It was unbearable. I turned the commentary off, and then I enjoyed the fight a lot more. They were so biased towards Izzy. I was like, holy crap, Jan Blachowicz is checking all these kicks. He's landing all these shots, and they're not even talking about it. The watch fight companion Rogan did with his boys low-key felt racist. I have no idea. I didn't even see it. I don't even tune into like those companion stuff. What's up, Big Meaty Hooks? Jan's eating those fangs. That's what I know, man. Like they were talking about Izzy, like he was outscoring them and doing all this stuff. I didn't get it, man. Any tips for growing on MMA YouTube? I'm just putting out content, man. I'm trying to grow too, so. Grapplers, he just takes them down. Against weak strikers, he outstrikes them. Yeah, he just goes wherever he can or wherever he has the advantage in the fight. That's what Jan Blachowicz tries to do for sure. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, they were glazing the hell out of him. I didn't see Izzy light up Jan with those feints yet. I mean, Izzy's fighting style is fun, but I mean, they just weren't giving Jan his fair credit. Thanks, Bot. I appreciate that. Very nice of you. What's up, SKR? Especially Joe Rogan commentating on Izzy fight. Joe Rogan is very biased commentary a lot of the time. Izzy is to Rogan what John is to Dana. Yeah, it seems that way. Yeah. Yeah, and they're pretty biased to Volkanovski too. If you go back and you watch Topuria versus Volk, that fight's really not even that close. I watched it back last night. Topuria versus Volkanovski without the commentary, totally different deal. The no commentary UFC clips have been good. I agree, Robert. I like that stuff, man. How can someone even eat feints out of it? It just draws out reactions and helps set stuff up, but it doesn't score anything. Topuria versus Volk was close. What do you mean Volk outstruck him? Not what I was watching. He landed a few jabs, but Topuria was, I don't know, man. People don't, I see fights completely different than people, I guess. Topuria was beating up that lead leg. His whole calf was welted. He was slowly applying the pressure. He was utilizing really good head movement. A lot of the shots were missing. And then Topuria came out in the second round after he beat up that leg and just marched him the hell down and just knocked his ass out. So he just had a very slow approach to the fight. So, and those kicks basically did nothing. Topuria's kicks did more to Volkanovski than Volkanovski's kicks did to Ilya, and they didn't talk about that in the commentary. You should have a choice of no commentary. I'd choose that every time, just to where you hear like the crowd and like the noise live from the fight as if you were there. That'd be fun. Topuria was waiting for the moment. Yeah, he was just closing him down, neutralizing his movement. I didn't, let me see. Hey man, you know who is the pound for pound number one, the baddest man alive is John Jones. I know, and if I say anything different, then I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. You know? According to Dana White, if I say that I don't think John Jones is the GOAT, then I don't know what I'm talking about. Kolstrom, you say Max ain't beating Ilya. Styles make fights, and Ilya is a bad matchup. He's definitely a hard matchup. I'll be putting my prediction out soon. I actually have my mind made up. So yeah. So I got my mind made up, man. I know exactly what I'm looking for. So no. No, the first round I gave to Volkanovski. I have Volkanovski winning the first round. So I guess technically he outstruck him. What I'm trying to say is Topuria was okay losing that round, but not by much, but land the shots that he needed, like those calf kicks to neutralize the movement, because you saw in the second round he came out a lot more aggressive and then put him out of there. That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah, Volk looked sharp. He looked good. He looked very good. The jab was money. He busted up Topuria's face a little bit, but Topuria was investing in the calf in the calf kick. That was the game plan. Take away the movement, make him a stationary target, and then eventually get him out of there. You watch Gaethje versus Chandler that they posted with commentary, and man, the shots they're throwing was crazy. That was crazy, man. It was crazy. You got Topuria by decision. Ilya was just waiting for the right moment. And if you look closely, nothing Volk was throwing at him even phased him. That's what I'm trying to say. Volk was scared. I agree. It was only a matter of time before Ilya KO'd him. But at the end of the day, if you land more strikes from your opponent, you win the round. Yeah. Like, he won the round. I gave him the round. All I'm saying is that Topuria knew what he was doing. He wasn't worried about getting him out of there in the first round per se. He was setting it up. He knew what he was doing. Ilya said he's going to put on a masterpiece and KO Holloway in the first round. Yeah, I saw him say that. I don't think he gets him out of there in the first round. If he's going to get him out of there, it's not going to be in the first round. Yeah, the most anticipated fight of the year, Holloway versus Topuria. I would agree. You're nervous for the Holloway fight? So am I, man. I'm very nervous as well. I am too. So Volk should have landed more than just a jab. He had moments where he could have landed big shots simply because he was so good in a good position, but he was terrified to exchange. That's what I'm saying, man. And that's what scares me about Max. Like, we saw what happened when Volk fought Max the third time. And I know Max's style is a little bit different, but Max was struggling with Arnold Allen for a little while. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I don't know. Ilya said Max is going to need a helmet. Yeah, I saw that. I saw that. Dustin versus Fazeev. Who do I got? I don't know, man. Probably Dustin, but I don't know. It's a hard fight. You don't know if it's glazed, but the confidence Ilya brings just make me believe every word he says, especially since he's been delivering. Exactly. It's like the Connor situation back in the day, in my opinion. But I think Ilya is better. Max is the most likable guy in the UFC. Yeah, he's definitely one of them. Definitely one of them. Yeah, the UFC's matchmaking at times has been a little questionable. No doubt about it. Rooting for Max, but Ilya is dangerous as hell, especially his boxing. Yeah, it's going to be a fun fight. But Max is going to have to, he's going to have to fight him the way he fought Arnold Allen. And the question is, can he do that? I wish it was at 55, you know? Yeah, I don't think that John, I mean, I don't think John's scared of Tom, but I think that John knows that that is the hardest matchup for him. Like, John's not an idiot. Like, he knows that. But I still think that John could beat Tom. All these people that are like, Tom Aspinall is going to destroy him. Like, he might, but I don't know. Tom Aspinall gets tired as the fight plays out. If Tom Aspinall doesn't get John out of there in the first round, I think John beats him. The issue is the boxing of John Jones has always been the big weakness. He's got elbows, kicks, knees, grappling. John has literally everything. The only thing he doesn't really have is particularly good boxing. And that's always kind of been like his kryptonite, is a guy that can really box and is quick. And Tom is quick and can box, and that's the problem. But outside of that, I think he's better than Tom everywhere else. I know Tom has good grappling, so I'd be curious to see that. But it's interesting because Topuria struggles with long-rangey strikers and Max struggles with short fighters. That's a good point. That's a great point, actually, man. That's a great point. I thought of the, Max struggling with the shorter guys, but yeah. Well, Topuria, what he struggles with the tall, rangy guys are the ones that have really good technical kickboxing. Like Jai Herbert is probably a more technical kicker than Max Holloway, maybe you could say. But Max is a better fighter than Jai Herbert. But in terms of like the technical kicks, I think Jai Herbert, he's got better kicks. Holloway can throw kicks, but they're not. I know he showed some good kicks to the body against Arnold Allen, but he's not particularly a great kicker because he doesn't really commit to them. I don't know why. I don't know if Max is just like kind of uncomfortable throwing kicks, but we'll see. Yeah, Max and Ilya, I think, have the same exact reach. They both have a 69-inch reach. Yeah, a couple years ago, I feel the same way. DDP has really been a surprise, to be honest with you. But I see we got 20-some people in here, man. Can we get some more likes in the stream? I would appreciate it. I would appreciate it. And who else do we got in here? I see like the same 6, 7 people, which I appreciate commenting. But who else is in this thing, man? Who else we got in here? Max is a tall pressure pocket boxer, and that is literally made for Ilya to KO. So, Chad, I agree with you, but I would also argue that Max isn't a tall pressure. I don't think he's necessarily a pressure boxer anymore, though. Is he? I think he's more of like a technical. I mean, what do you think? I think he's more of like a. I think he was, but I think he's more of like an elusive style strategic fighter now. I don't think he's that same kind of guy anymore. And if he tries to do that with Ilya, I think that that's a problem. At 55, I think he could. But at 45, it scares me, man. I'm telling you, go back and watch the Arnold Allen fight. Even watch the zombie fight, man. the way that those shots were landing on Holloway, it just had way more of an effect than it used to. And then at 55, he ate a shot from Gaethje. Like, I know it dropped him, but he popped right back up. Where at 45, like, he was like getting kind of rocked. You know what I mean? And I just don't know. It scares me with that cut back down to 45, man. If it was at 55, maybe I feel a little bit more confident, but if Harry Hardwick goes to the UFC and want him versus Dan Hooker, that'd be fun. The people pay. The people pay. They don't want to see run around. Avoid a fight. They want to see a fight. Remember the Yoel Romero? Pretend these are sunglasses. Wait. I got to do it. Anything is possible in your life if you believe. I love Yoel Romero, man. Romero, that dude can be 70 years old and he'll be still fighting. The fighting, we got the fighting nerd glasses. There we go. I'm picking Caio Borralho to win this weekend. Holloway really isn't that tall. That's tall for featherweight. That's tall for featherweight. And even at lightweight, that's pretty tall. You just have some guys that, like Yair, that I think, isn't Yair? No, Yair's like 6 foot or something. I don't remember. But Max is pretty tall. Max is a tall dude. You think Max's biggest attribute in this fight and all his fights is his timing? He lands right in the middle of his opponent's combos, which stops their momentum and ability to get off. Yeah, for sure. For sure. Especially this new version of Holloway. You get what I mean? I was on the same page with you when Max fought Holloway, but like you said last stream, Holloway can't float around against Elia or he'll get bullied. Yeah, I agree. I agree. But again, it's like pick your poison, because if he's going to stand in the pocket with Elia, that seems scary. Zombie did rock Max. He did. John Jones is the best fighter to ever step in the cage. Never lost a fight. Did Yoel even believe in himself that fight? I don't even know, man. I don't know. He was like messing around. Jones is a GOAT, but if he keeps doing what he's doing, his legacy will fade. I mean, I don't know, man. Yeah, it's feeling weird at this point. The fact that he's fighting Stipe, it just all feels weird. You think John will take Aspinall to school? Tom was getting thrown around by a rugby player. I mean, look, I think John Jones has a shot at beating him. Like everyone that's rolling out John, I don't agree with that. The heights aren't accurate for some of the UFC fighters. Could be. I think they say Izzy's like 6'4", but I don't know that Izzy's actually 6'4". Do you guys think Izzy's a little shorter than that? Yoel was a cheater. The Stoolgate, what is that? What do I think of the Sphere card? I think that it's meh. I thought it was going to be better. It's still okay, but we shouldn't be talking about the Sphere card as like okay. You know what I mean? We should be like, whoa, the Sphere card. Stipe is just his retirement fight. Yeah, it seems that way for sure. 308 could possibly sell just as much as 300. There's a possibility because the prelims are free. You know what I mean? So it's not like people are like, oh, I'm going to buy 300 because the whole card's crazy, because most of it's free other than the last, 4 or 5 fights of the night, or 5, 6 fights of the night. So I agree. I think that UFC 308 is a crazy card, man. Crazy card. Best main event of the year on paper, at least. And some of the matchups on there are crazy, dude. You know what I mean? Fluffy versus Izzy. Who do I got? That's a hard fight for Izzy. Bro ain't that tall. He's 6'3" at best. Yeah, I think they make Izzy seem a little taller than what he is. I'd like to see him in person to see, because I'm like 6'1". I would like to see. I know he's got long arms. He has like an 80-something inch reach, which that's a big reach at middleweight. That's a solid reach. The one way I see Max winning in your head is if he can time a knee as Ilya covers up and dips his head. Yeah, but the thing is, when Ilya does that, he doesn't do the Gaethje where he kind of just like dips down. He's like low, but his chin is always tucked. Like he doesn't dip down like into a knee. You know what I mean? To where if you throw it, it would come up, but it wouldn't like rock him. You know what I mean? He stayed on the stool in the Tim Kennedy fight after getting rocked. Oh, I'll have to go back and check that out. Yeah, it's one of those fights, man, where Max is just gonna have to fight a perfect fight. It's the same thing that I was saying heading into the Volkanovski fight is that Volk has to be perfect for 25 minutes where Ilya doesn't. And this is the same kind of thing to where Ilya doesn't have to be perfect for 25 minutes, but Max does. It's just the styles. You know, Ilya's he's vicious, man. There's not a single current active heavyweight on the UFC roster that has a victory over Stipe. It's a great fight for John. Stipe is a problem for any heavyweight. I mean, Stipe is really good, but he's been away for so long. What's he going to look like, you know? Bryce Mitchell with shit movement was making Topuria swing and miss at the moment just because he had some range on him. Fighters the same size as Topuria, like Emmett and Volk, were kind of perfect for him. Yeah, I mean, that's true. That's true. But again, I think Ilya... I think that a lot of it with him is he starts out like just, you know, and then he starts to dial it down. You know what I mean? Like after the first round, I think he starts to dial it down and then he comes out a little bit more calm and composed in the second round. Kind of like Gaethje. Gaethje's like kind of wild in the first round. And then Trevor Whitman's like, slow down. And then Gaethje's like, yes, sir. And then he comes out in the second round and he's like a lot more technical and crisp. You saw it in the Chandler fight. After the first round, Gaethje was really good in rounds 2 and 3. It was the same thing in the Ferguson fight. You know, when you tell him to slow down, even in the Poirier fight the second time, he's then a lot more methodical. I think that that's what happens with Topuria. He comes out like all like, you know, and then he's like loading up on shots, and then he takes a little bit off and starts to be a little bit more technical. And, you know, John Silva would give Max a run for his money. I think John Silva is a hard fight for a lot of guys. Gaethje falls over when he's punching. He's not going to a great balance at all with his perfect style for Max, but not with Ilya. Ilya is a lot more technical than Justin Gaethje. That's number one. But number two, the biggest difference, the defense. The defense of Ilya is way better than Gaethje. Way better. Ilya will reign champ until he retires. I think there's definitely a good possibility. If you guys want my bull, I actually came up with a pretty creative intro. I made the intro last night, or yesterday, and I made it, and I have the intro made, but I just got to record the video. But it's a fun intro. You know what I mean? So if you guys are interested, I might put this video out today. I'm feeling bold. I'm feeling bold with my thoughts. If you guys want that video today, let me know. What fights would you book that haven't been made? Ooh. Oh, that's a good question, man. That's a good question. I'd have to think on that. There's a lot of fights, I'm sure. There's a lot of fights. You don't know why, but I have a weird feeling Aljo, of all people, will have great success against Ilya and a featherweight in general. Aljamain Sterling is the dark horse of the featherweight division. He's the guy right now, and I never thought I would say this about Aljo, that if I was a featherweight in the UFC and I see his name come across my desk, I'm like, you know, he's like the one guy that, because he fights the exact same way as bantamweight, but his pace, cardio, pressure, everything is the same. He's just not as drained. He's a problem at featherweight. Would have been better if they got 308 card on the Sphere, but Dana has to promote his boy O'Malley. I agreed, man. Agreed. The broken nose really slowed Justin down. Yeah, that definitely played a part. How did Emmett eat all those shots from Ilya? It's just styles, man. It's styles. Because like Ilya's fighting style, he's like right there for Emmett to land a big right hand. So like the way he fights is very different, to where it's like, I don't know, it's styles make fights. You know, you can't read into it too much, I think. Who do I got? Aljo versus Mobstar. So early prediction, I said in my video, I said Aljo, but I got to do a little tape study first, right? Because because what I'm thinking in my head, here's where my head is at, Rocco, right now, is it's going to be a 3-round fight. I think that if anyone's finishing the fight, it's going to be Aljo because Mavzar is not a finisher, right? But Mavzar has better clean striking than Aljo does. But yet again, Aljo's sloppy striking mixed with like that weird, chaotic, funky style that he has, shots get through, and if he takes Mavzar's back, we saw Diego Lopez. I'm not saying Aljo's Diego with the jiu-jitsu, but we saw Diego put Mavzar in some positions on short notice. So a guy like Aljo who's going to have a speed, maybe a speed advantage. I don't know. He's coming up from, 135. Like, I think Aljo's a problem. I really do. Put the vid out today. All right, I got to get some time. I got to record the meat and potatoes of it, and then I'll try to get it out today. You're going to doubt Aljo one more time against Mavzar, but if Aljo beats Mavzar, I'm never picking against him. Yeah. I mean, Mavzar, I think, is a little cleaner on the feet, and he has good wrestling, but he's a decision machine, right? So if it goes the distance, I could see Mavzar winning, but I could see a scenario where Aljo is able to submit him or something. I don't know. Styles make fights. The only way Max can win is if he stays at range and picks Ilya apart, but it's hard to do that for 5 rounds against someone like Ilya because all he needs is one punch and it's over. It kind of reminds me, you're right, it kind of reminds me of the Izzy versus Alex saga where, all it takes is one shot from Alex, that left hook the whole time, to where, Izzy was winning the whole first fight in MMA and then just gets caught late in the fight. You know what I mean? You wonder how Protest's style would be fair or would fare against MVP, since I don't think we've seen those two styles fight each other. Yeah, more of a Muay Thai guy against like a karate style. That'd be interesting. That would be interesting. MVP, he's different though, man, on the feet. Do I think Hamzat takes Whitaker down? Yeah, he gets him down. Now, can he sub him? We'll see. I'm going off in my videos. I'm trying to be a little bit more, trying to show my personality and make things a little bit more fun, instead of always being so serious all the time. Mavzar was getting out grappled by Allen. I got Aljo all day. I feel like, look, you can't overlook Aljo in this fight. That's where my head is at. Early prediction, I think Aljo. Until you've seen Max wobbled, I ain't doubting his chin. He hasn't been wobbled, but he's been hit. He's been hit pretty good. Yeah, Gaethje dropped him. Zombie and Arnold both landed some good shots on him that gave Max a reaction that we really haven't seen from him at 45. What's up, Fire? How you doing? Even at 55, Ilya is still a dangerous matchup for Holloway, in your opinion? Yeah, for sure. He's dangerous. Yeah, 100%. He fought Jai Herbert at 55, and look at that knockout. That was crazy. It was a crazy knockout. Didn't Dustin have Max hurt against the cage? Yes, in that fight at 155. Is it just me, or have most of the main events this year been either mid-ranked women or fat heavyweights? For the fight nights? Did you study Aljo versus Mavzar? No, I'll look into that a little bit more as we get closer to 307. Right now I'm focusing on 306. At 155, Max is a completely different fighter, better in every way. You got Max at 55. Yeah, at 55, I feel confident in him. At 45, I'm just unsure. Yeah, he did. And that nasty KO over Jai Herbert. And look, here's the thing. Outside of that little left high kick that these Orthodox fighters have thrown on Ilya that has landed and dropped him, that's the only times Ilya has been dropped in his career, is that same kick. If that doesn't land, he's been basically unbeatable outside of that. Who's winning, O'Malley or Merab? O'Malley's knocking him out. You just can't see Holloway being able to do Ilya the same way he did Gaethje. We'll see. It's going to be interesting. But yeah, I think O'Malley's footwork, speed, and timing are going to be a problem. No question. You seriously don't understand how Dan Hooker won round one. He was getting smashed until the last minute, and you love Dan. I don't think he was getting smashed though. He was landing some good shots on Gamrot. I think it was a good back and forth. Marab is a good guy. It's going to be sad to watch Sean KO him, but Umar will spin the block for Marab and sub Sean. I mean, yeah, I think Umar's a real issue. Him versus O'Malley's a crazy fight, dude. That's a huge. I think that's a big fight, actually. I think that's a huge fight in the UFC. One of the bigger fights the UFC can put together. But we'll see, man. Yeah, I saw his face after round one. He's got a lot of scar tissue. But you gave Gamrot round one because of the ground and pound. Yeah, I look. The fight was close. I thought Gamrot won, but again, I'm not like, oh, Dan Hooker, it was a robbery, or I don't think it was a robbery. I just think it was really, really close. But I could have seen how you could have scored it to Gamrot. When I was watching it live, I thought Gamrot did enough. Most overrated UFC fighter? I don't know, man. I'm trying to think. Overrated? That's a great question, man. You got me. I don't know. Most overrated? Who's like really overrated? I don't know. You think JDM's the most overrated? I think Gilbert Burns. I don't know if that's a nomination, but if that makes any sense to say Gilbert Burns, but I think Gilbert Burns has always been a bit overrated. Jared Gordon's all right. He's underrated a little bit. A lot of that's because of what he did with Paddy Pimblett. Hooker just dropped to number 5 in the UFC lightweight rankings. Yeah, he's a he's got a big matchup on deck for him. What do I think is next for Misha Tate? I have no idea. Cejudo's overrated. That's a good one. That's a good nomination. Did you guys see he was talking about going back down the flyweight? Holly Holmes overrated. That's another one. Usman, maybe a little bit. I don't know. I still think Usman's pretty good. Prime Usman. JDM just gets treated like he invented the art of boxing while he has a split decision every fight. He's a fun fighter, JDM. Who's winning, Diego Lopez or Brian Ortega? I'm going with Diego Lopez. Yeah, the Gilbert Burns versus Chimaev fight really helped out Gilbert Burns more than any win in his career, which is kind of wild. Gaethje and Oliveira are close to him in the rankings, so one of them could be very next for him. Yeah, I would like to see Dan Hooker versus Oliveira. I think that would be cool. Or Dan Hooker versus Gaethje. Either one of those is great. JDM went life and death with Hafez. Yeah, Hafez and Mickey Gall was piecing up Hafez for a while there too. JDM loses to Ian Gary. Mark my words. He might. I don't know. Most overrated fighter in the UFC? Do you think it's JDM? It might be Cejudo, to be honest. What's up, Claudia? Shama. You love that bedtime rant we got from, I didn't see. What did he rant about? JDM and Hafez? You think Dana just called Usman the GOAT to troll GSP? Maybe. Hardly anyone is talking about Manuel Torres versus Inacio Bahamondes. Who do I got in that fight? I don't know yet. I haven't made a prediction yet, but that's a damn good fight. Who wins in a rematch, Charles or Arman? I don't know. Might have to lean towards Arman, but I'd like to see him get it done, Charles get it done, but I don't know. You're going T-City? Old Vid and he was mad at JDM. UFC should rebook Gamrot versus Fiziev. Yeah, that'd be fun. That'd be fun. The reason why Canada keeps getting trash cards is because Dana's pissed off at GSP. Well, yeah, because when he came back to fight, Bisping won the belt and then retired. Holland is overrated. Yeah, maybe a little. Yeah, a little bit. What happened to Mike Malott? Never saw the fellow again after. Yeah, he fell off the face of the earth for a little while there after losing to Magny. Charles was starting to slow down in that fight. Maybe it was because of all the wrestling from Armin. Yeah, for sure, all the wrestling. Yeah. Underrated off the top of my head. I don't know, man. T-City and Lopez, the fight is all closer than what people are making. Making it. Yeah, it is. I think it's a close fight. But again, Brian gets hit a lot. Diego Lopez. But again, Diego Lopez, he's a prospect on the rise. But when he faces a guy that's a veteran like Ortega, who's durable, who has good jiu-jitsu, what does that look like? We're going to find out. I'm excited for it. You think Rakic looked like a world beater against Yuri despite losing? He just got, Yuri just said, I'm not losing today, man, and just willed himself to a victory. You're rooting for Torres to get the dub? Yeah, I mean, he's a stud. So is Bahamondes. I think Bahamondes might get it done, but I don't know. We'll see. The most underrated fighter in the UFC is Sean O'Malley. The only person in the whole division who I would pick over him is Umar. He has GOAT potential. Not a bad take. Magomed Ankalaev is winning. Because he'll come out in that tie stance like he did against Johnny Walker. He'll have an answer for the leg kicks, and he's a much better boxer than Rakic and has a lot more power in the hands than Rakic does, and he'll just march him down and put him out of there, in my opinion. Oliveira versus Fiziev. That's what I've been saying. Both guys are like Muay Thai style strikers. That'd be fun. Yeah, Torres is a beast. Ozdemir versus Hill. That's a good fight. And that's realistic next because Volkan Ozdemir should get a top 5 guy next for sure. The best fighting nerd, I think, is Mauricio Rufy. In my opinion. You just want JDM to lose to someone the fans hate like Gary or Usman just to see their glaze belt away? I mean, I don't know, because Ian Gary, he's a good rangy kickboxer, but if JDM can can turn it into a boxing match, he's gonna definitely outbox Ian Gary for sure. The only issue for JDM there would be the kicks of Gary, because I don't think Gary would really try to grapple much, but maybe, I don't know. You don't think that fight would be competitive because Fiziev isn't good on the ground now? He has good takedown defense, but Charles might jump on his back. Yeah, could. Yeah. But on the feet, it'd be interesting, though. Do I think Dustin would have beaten Max when he was champ at 145 and Colby beating Oliveira at 55? No, I don't think Dustin would have beaten Max at 45. Dustin improved a lot when he went up to 55. And Colby beating Oliveira at 55? No, I think Oliveira beats Colby. MVP is the best striker at welterweight, and Gary still smoked him. Gary could beat JDM, but no one will say it because they love JDM. You're an Aussie, Mr. Bean. That's dope. Um, yeah, JDM I think gets a little overrated, a little overhyped for sure. I like that fight, Prates versus Gary. Yeah, Ian Gary just fought a good fight against MVP. Took him down, implemented the grappling. That was smart. I didn't know that he was going to be able to control MVP like that, though. So maybe Gary's grappling just is that good these days, you know? I don't know. Yeah, I mean that's a fun fight. I think we'll see that at some point too. Gary versus JDM. I think we could see that at some point. Considering Neil was able to push Gary back against the fence, I think he'd get yeah, get hurt doing that against JDM. Yeah, for sure. Which fighter should go down or up a class to be the champ? I think Islam should go up, but he's not going to because of Bilal. Because I don't think they're going to want to fight each other. Topuria should go up, and then I think at some point O'Malley should go up, and then maybe Alex, depending on the matchup, he should go up. What fighting nerd has the best potential to be champion? Mauricio Rufy. Gary had MVP back, is back most of the first round and still couldn't sub him. That's a bad look. Yeah. Bilal suggesting Islam to move to middleweight is common. I mean, yeah, those are some big dudes at middleweight, man. Those dudes are like 200 and something pounds. Those are some big dudes. Michael Morales, kid who's fighting Magny Saturday, is a very exciting prospect that nobody talks about. I've been talking about him, man. He's a good fighter. Dumbest MMA take I've heard by a YouTuber. Dumbest, I don't know. I just remember when Lucas was saying how Benoit Saint-Denis was going to mow over Poirier, and I was like, no, he isn't. He's got too many holes in the boxing, and Poirier is going to knock his ass out. The dumbest takes were all the YouTubers saying that Max Holloway was going to get destroyed in Tony Ferguson by Gaethje, because Gaethje had never fought somebody with a speed and skill advantage like that. Rufy versus Hooper, I don't know. That's a tough fight. Maybe Mauricio. He just can't. He just can't get taken down. The fact that Bilal is so willing to give Islam props tells me that Islam beats him. Maybe. Lucas said that Volk would be Terrence Crawford in boxing. That's wild. Yeah, he definitely wouldn't beat Bud Crawford. Yeah, I do remember when Bilal dunked him on his head. Yeah. What's up, fellow traveler? On paper, Volk could beat Canelo. Not a shot. Yeah, Hooper would be diving for the legs immediately. The best prospect right now? I don't know. A couple of those guys from Fighting Nerds, man. We got Peyton Talbot as well. I think the guys from Fighting Nerds, though. Got Prates. You got Rufy, Jean Silva. What's up, Couch Warrior? Good last minute pick on DDP. Yeah. Yeah. Appreciate it. Yeah, we'll see what Morales is grappling. Grappling's pretty good, but we'll see what happens when he actually faces one in the UFC, because he's kind of been facing I mean, he's been getting some favorable matchups. So we'll see what happens when he actually faces some of these top, one of these top grapplers. What happens? Yeah, they are doing Magomed Ankalaev dirty for sure. Yeah, I think Hooper, he's an underdog for sure. Joel Alvarez is very good too. Yes, that's another one. He's a good prospect as well on the rise now. He's very good. I picked him to win his last fight by finish too. Yeah, if Magny beats Morales, give him a title shot. Give him a title shot. What do I make of the other welterweight prospect, Danny Barlow? I think he's good. I think he's got good striking. Montel Jackson's another one. He's good. You don't blame the UFC for not giving Magomed the title shot. Dude's got the personality of an oak tree. But yeah, he's got a good fighting style, though. He's good. Barlow's good, but he disappointed last time. Yeah, that's the thing about fighting, though, man. It's just you have an off night, and unfortunately, it's not like basketball or whatever. You just get it tomorrow. You got to wait a while till the next fight. Alvarez, he's got to figure out the weight situation. Otherwise, he's going to have to go up to 70. Yeah, Peloton's a great fighter, man. The UFC is just being strategic. Yeah, when you stick to the basics, it doesn't open you up as much to being, when you do all that spinning stuff, now you're giving a guy your back, you're putting yourself way out of position. And it's wild that if Jan versus Ankalaev had been third, yeah, I don't know what you're saying. Yeah, I think Barlow will be back, man. He's a good fighter. Forget about a fighter's personality. Give them what they rightfully deserve. Shake my head. That's why I think the UFC is a real sport. I don't know. Ludovic Klein with Nicholas Mata. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. The UFC's been doing some interesting things with the matchmaking. So I think Joe Alvarez would. Yeah, Magomed just didn't have an answer for the leg kicks. And we saw against Johnny Walker how he adjusted his stance a little bit because Johnny Walker uses a lot of leg kicks as well. And Jan Blachowicz is just good. But I think that if Ankalaev can deal with leg kicks, it's going to be a problem for everybody. Khalil can, if he can catch him with something, whether it's a left hand down the middle, whether it's a kick to the body that hurts him or something. And Alex is really good at blocking kicks, low kicks, kicks to the body, head kicks. He's really, really good at blocking that kind of stuff. You think Dana was a little harsh on Finney? Yeah, he was a little harsh. He was a little harsh. Yeah, Magomed, I think he took a shit on Dana's desk or something. Joe Alvarez, Jalen Turner, I like that fight. If Jan had a hard time checking Pereira's leg kicks, Magomed's going to have nothing for it. Yeah, that's the thing is everyone's like, oh, Ankalaev's the worst matchup for Alex. And like he might be, but I think Jan Blachowicz was a hard fight for him. And Magomed is a very good fighter. He's got good boxing. He's got good striking, but his wrestling, yes, it's good, but doesn't submit people. He doesn't have crazy ground and pound. So is he going to do just lay on what's his name? Like I think Alex can actually. I think there's a good chance that Alex could win that fight. I don't think it's like a lopsided I think that there's a good shot that Alex could win that fight. If Khalil wins, that would be the absolute worst. That'd be crazy if Khalil won. Yeah, Dana would be really mad. Yeah, Dana's harsh, man. He's harsh. He's harsh, man. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Finney didn't look impressive. I got to be honest. He didn't look impressive. And when Dana said that he basically didn't think that he would do well in the UFC, that's literally what I was sitting there like saying out loud as I was watching those fights. I'm like, he would get pieced up in the UFC. So, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Who's in the top 5 right now? I think Joe Alvarez has a shot against just about everybody. They're cool with Alex versus Roundtree because who else were they going to have main event that card? Because let's be real, who really cared to see a female fight as the main event or a male flyweight as the main? Yeah, I don't know. I think that it's a fun stylistic matchup, but yeah, Dana like picks and chooses who to go after and who to like kind of bully around. Yeah. Aspinall versus Prime Kane would be fun. But I'm gonna hop off here, everybody. I'm gonna try to get this Taporia Holloway video finished up. So we'll see if I can get that done and get that out today. If not, that'll be out tomorrow. So, but I appreciate you guys hopping on here. If you haven't seen my recent video talking about Roundtree and Alex, that is on the channel now. I appreciate you guys. See you next time.